I'm Monica DeSantis.
Welcome to the Prepare to Repair Show with your host, RJ Graham Plumbing's very own Steve Suarez. For the next hour, Steve and his expert guest will help take the fear out of home improvement by answering homeowner questions. Gain valuable information from Steve's 20-plus years of experience to help you save valuable time, money, and frustration on your next home repair project. Become an empowered homeowner and prepare to repair.
Welcome to the Prepare to Repair Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, and I want to welcome my in-studio guest, Tom Maslowski, with What's Going Down in downtown J-Town.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm laughing. We started out, we're talking about just all this other things, and Tom just kicks in with burgers.
Man.
He just starts out
Bring
with
it back.
burgers. That's where it just starts out. No negativity. Let's start with burgers.
Burgers with pork belly on it and garlic aioli on a pretzel roll. Let's be specific here. And pepper jack cheese.
All right, I got it.
Also stone ground mustard.
Evan, you want to weigh in on this? What do you think about that? What are you thinking about grub?
I'm all for it.
He's all for it. Evan
See?
just gave me the thumbs up. He's all for it. Okay, so here I am. I can't even talk plumbing now. I can't even talk plumbing because it's like,
Well, with burgers also comes the inevitable, so plumbing is still relevant.
It is, but you really don't want to mix the two together.
No. It's separate conversations, but still essential.
All right, I'll give you that. Well, I'm going to hit some other information. We're going to get back to the burgers. I hope everybody had a happy and safe 4th of July. Hope everything was fun with you, Tom.
Oh yeah. How about you?
Oh, it was great. We're actually in the Mokina, Village Mokina, a 4th of July parade, which was a lot of fun. We had 3 of our trucks in there right behind a big concrete truck. And it was a nice day. It was warm. When you're out in the road, you got the sun beating down on the blacktop. It was a little bit warm, but yeah. I'll tell you, there was a lot of people there having a great time. We gave out a lot of candy, and almost seems like we didn't have enough. And we had buckets upon buckets full of candy, and I think we could have given out double.
What type of candy?
Oh, it was the good stuff. Remember the Now-Laters, the filling ripper-outers?
Yeah.
We had Now-Laters, we had Smarties, we had, I think there was Tootsie Pops, there was Dum Dums, there was, the Double Bubble type bubble gum. We gave all the good stuff out, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people out there. It's just like, and the weather was great. It almost was like we're making up for, hey, this is our mulligan for last year.
Yeah.
You guys couldn't come out, and the presence that was there, the people that were there, it was a lot of fun, and it was good to see a lot of our customers that we have out there. They were just, cheering us on, and just to meet a lot of interesting people there, and also one of the participants there was from a shop that does some of our work, our car work, on our service vans. They had a Plymouth or a Super B, and I don't know if I think it was a 70 or a 69 Dodge Super B. This thing was beautiful. I was just like, that's the belle of the ball. Everyone else can go home. My trucks, it's like, okay, just scrap them. This thing is just,
Well, they have a big car show in Frankfurt, actually. So I think of that surrounding area, there's a lot of people they have some pretty nice cars. I did see a replica of the Back to the Future DeLorean there.
Oh, yeah.
And they had like the license plate, the flux capacitor, all that stuff was in there. It was very, very cool.
And what does it take to run that?
It is plutonium, sir.
Right, but how many gigawatts?
1.81 gigawatts.
It's 1.1 gigawatts. Useless information.
Yeah. How could I have been so careless?
Well, you know what? It's one of the most iconic cars. And it was. You know who designed that?
No,
John DeLorean. And you know what John DeLorean's famous for, other than
the DeLorean,
his legal issues? He was the one who is the father of the
flux capacitor,
the Pontiac GTO.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he's basically the father of the muscle car. He just stuck big motors in mid-sized cars, and they caught on to a lot of young people that were, the baby boomers, and They just took off, and they loved them. It started the muscle car era.
So what happened with the DeLorean then? Why did he do that?
Well, he left GM and because they were restricting, they weren't doing a lot, and he decided to do his own thing. And the DeLorean, I think, was built in Ireland. I think it was built in Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I mean, don't hold me to it, everybody. I think I remember reading on it. And he only built it for a couple years.
Yeah, it didn't last very long, I remember.
I think it was an all-aluminum car, so it wouldn't rust. And there was a lot of little things with it. And but if you read the story on it, he was, ahead of his time. And if you look at some of the old school stuff that they did, guys like him and Iacocca, who is the father of the Mustang. Yeah, he was working for Ford and designed the Mustang.
I know so little about cars; it's ridiculous.
It's just the history behind it. But what they used to do is they would test these in Detroit on Woodward Boulevard, and they'd bring them out in like these little test cars and kind of race them with none of the kids knew who they were. So they would kind of see what the young people were doing and how they were doing their cars and what they would like and dislike. And that's where they got a lot of their ideas and marketed off of that.
Oh, wow.
So, and Lee Iacocca was also famous for one other thing, right?
Yes.
What's that? Not Coca-Cola.
I have no idea.
The minivan.
There you go. See? Chrysler.
Yeah, there you go. He brought back Chrysler. So, like I said, a lot of useless information that we got here. If you want to check it out, look it up. I may be a little bit off on certain things, so don't hit me too hard on it. But that's the gist of what we're talking about.
You can find us on social media for all of your bashing pleasure.
Exactly. Prepare to Repair show.
Find us on Facebook and ridicule everything we've said. We welcome you.
Or you could send us a text at 708-964-5500. Please be nice. Keep the expletives down. It's a family show.
Yeah.
We got some other things we're going to go through. We got to yap in a little bit. We're going to go to a break, and then we are going to continue on with some other announcements we have, plus a couple of plumbing.
Welcome back. Your dreams were yours.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I am your host, Steve Suarez, and joining me is Tom Maslowski.
Hello.
The man, the myth, the legend. So we left. We were talking about actually cars, and we were just basically useless information. But I also want to get to some of the other announcements I have. Tune in to the Rock and Roll Diner on 95.9 The River, where the featured restaurant this week is Hop Vine Brewery in Aurora. Listen for your chance to win a $25 gift card, sponsored by us, RJ Graham Plumbing. We also have a few gift cards to give away on this show as well, that courtesy of some local restaurants in the area. Right, Tom?
Yes, sir. We got Blue Taco and Chevrolet Latin Cafe.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. I love, special thanks to them. They're, we love talking about them, and they have a lot of good food over there. If you have any questions or comments, like we were just talking about, if we're right or wrong on certain things, shoot us over a text at 708-964-5500. And also, you can, if you listen later in on 95.9 The River in the afternoon show, you might catch Mitch Michaels maybe talking a little bit about us over the next few weeks on his show. So that's pretty exciting to announce. And this is something that's really cool, Tom, and I'm really excited about this because everything else that we talk about is just, it's fun, but this right here is really, really exciting to me. It really makes me feel good. On not last week, but the week before that, because we were off that week, we had Christy and Valerie from the Veterans Assistance Commission, and I was informed that they received a call from a listener who reached out to them with a rental unit, and which is what they greatly need. They need all the help they can get as far as rental units for our veterans out there, and this is really great. I mean, this organization works really hard to help our veterans, and I want to thank any and all listeners that are coming to help out and have anything, and if you can help them out, I appreciate your help. I mean, that's awesome.
And then don't forget to, if you don't know what we're talking about, this episode was recorded and is podcast style.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes, it's on our website.
Yep. And you can find that also, too, on iTunes, or you're on Podbean.
It's on iTunes and on Spotify.
Cool.
So you can catch both of them there, and or you can reach out to, like I said, Christy and Valerie from the Veterans Assistance Commission. They are more than willing to, any help that you can throw their way. These two work really hard, along with the other staff down at the Veterans Assistance Commission. They work really hard and can use all the help they can get.
Yeah.
And our veterans deserve it. So that's pretty exciting. That's one of the reasons why. I mean, everything else is fun, but this right here is really important, to be able to do stuff like that.
I agree.
And help out restaurants that that are coming back and can use a little kickstart, and hopefully we're helping them as well.
I think the community needs, one single place where you can hear about and find out about the things that are going on in our community. Social media is great for many, many things and staying connected, but we all know the do's and don'ts, and sometimes you just simply don't see things. So I think it's important for us to have a place where you can go to listen to all this information without anything else getting in the way. So
right, and you know what I mean. Even with me doing service and doing plumbing, I'm interacting with people on a regular basis, and we'll talk about the job that we did, but there's other little things that we're going to talk about along the way, just in small talk, and you learn a lot about people, and that's kind of what we're doing here. I mean, just like I said, started out talking about burgers. Just before that, we were talking about why this Chicago River was reversed and what happened that caused it to be reversed.
Yeah.
That's why we switched over to burgers, if you were wondering why it went. But we'll touch on the reason why that was done, if you don't know, on another show. So, but I do want to talk about one thing real quick is RJ Graham Plumbing, which I'm the owner of, and I'm proud to be doing it for a better part of a decade. We are growing. We're looking for licensed service plumbers with experience in residential and commercial service plumbing. We are a union shop, and our applicants must have a valid plumber's license and pass a background and drug test. This is a must, because as we are sending out people in company trucks and into customers' homes, quality, safety, and security is a number one priority. We look for quality people who care about what they do. So if this is you, reach out to us. You can send us an email with your resume. You can reach out to us on Facebook at RJ Graham Plumbing, or you can shoot us over a text at the show here, 708-964-5500. We're looking for people that have the experience to troubleshoot and solve problems. That's why people hire us, or that's what people hire us for. Inexperience, we want experienced people, because inexperience leads to guessing. Guessing costs homeowners money, and this, in my opinion, is unacceptable. We as plumbers are hired for results, not to guess. It does put a little pressure on our plumbers, but in the end, people have expectations, and we want to meet and exceed them. So, and Tom, my man here, had to. I usually talk to Tom late at night. We talk about little things about the show. Tom's a night owl, as am I, and constantly coming up with ideas, working, and things like that. Tom sends me a text telling me his water heater is on the fritz and wondering what's going on. So Tom sends me over a text about, how old is that water heater, or how old was it?
I think it's 15 years old. 15
years, Joliet water.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good.
It was not too bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have good water, that is not uncommon. I mean, it's not uncommon if you have good water for a water heater to last. Same thing in areas of Chicago. You'll have some that last. But there's other areas that have really bad water that water heater, if you're lucky, it'll give you 5 to 6 years. I mean, right around the warranty, you're going to do it. We replaced the water heater at a commercial location in Lockport. And brand new water heater. It was a little over 6 years old. It was half full with sediment.
Oh, man.
Yes. This thing weighed a ton. It was never drained. It was never touched, never drained, never maintained. And with water heaters, tank water heaters, you got to maintain them. So that's why when we do them, we install them, we give a minimum 6-year warranty, which is manufacturer gives a 6-year tank and parts warranty. You get that with most of your water heaters. We give a 6-year labor warranty, which basically covers any manufacturer-covered repairs or replacements for the 6-year warranty period. Plus, what we've added with that is we now do a 1 yearly water heater flush for each of the 6-year warranty. And the reason why we started doing that is because we found that after we've got water heaters that lasted 7-8 years, they're starting to fail. And these things should last a lot longer than that. And come to find out, nothing was done to them. Once it was installed, that was it. And we've also run into some issues where a pipe was leaking from something else and onto the water heater. And, well, there's nothing you can do about a warranty when it's destroyed from the outside. So we want to get in there to kind of look at this and catch these problems before they become problems and make these things last longer. These things, they're not cheap anymore.
No.
And you don't want to, have to buy one when you don't need to. If you can get at least 10 years out of the water heater, that's good. Getting 15 years, you're looking all right.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, the oldest water heater I pulled out was from 1962.
That's pretty crazy.
And that was in 2014 in Champaign. So that's definitely, that's why we do it. We've had people ask us about could you put this one in and I don't want the warranty. I'm not going to do that. Because if you're paying someone to put in the water heater, I want to back it. Because other than that, what you feel now, in 2 years down the line, if there's a failure, they're mechanical. Anything can go. Humans are making them. Anything can have an issue. And if it does, you're going to be upset because you're going to have to pay again to have it installed. Or not installed, but, replaced because it may be under warranty from the manufacturer. But if you don't get the full labor and it's only a 1 year labor on it, you're having to pay again for the installation. So nobody wants to pay twice for the same job, especially when the water heater's 3 years old. It just, under 6 years, it stings. It just, It just, to buy something like that, I wouldn't want to buy anything like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just would bother me. And that's how I kind of do things. How would I feel if I was making the purchase? You know what I mean? And again, you spent all this money to do it. Even if you get, for a couple $100 more, you could have gotten a full warranty on it or whatever it is, or for the same amount, depending on who you hired. It does help. So what's your opinion on that? You're a consumer. From a consumer aspect, how would you, when you buy...
It's really frustrating that things are generally made to break. It seems like most of the things that we have in our general culture and society are made to break, planned obsolescence, and that's incredibly frustrating. And I think many of us are hoping to fix the thing that we have and keep it running. So I think most of the time what happens is that, people are trying to just buy a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. So if, for example, my water heater wasn't leaking,
right,
and we got a lot of feedback because we asked, hey, it was at midnight. Our water heater stopped working. We were going on vacation. We kind of wanted it to get fixed before we left. And everyone was, giving us all this advice. And there was many people that have had water heaters for 20 years, 20 plus years, saying what the problem was and this is how you should fix it. And, and it turned out this time that the peanut gallery was correct. We have a lot of friends in the industry as well too, so I think, maybe for, I know you have a lot of frustration, Steve, about bad reviews and things like that. And coming from the other side of it, not everyone is taking so much stock in these reviews. Most people can see someone who's just disgruntled or, we're all adults here. We all have jobs, and most of us are serving someone in some way, right? That's how you make money. You have a product, you have to sell it. You have a service, you have to sell it. So I don't think that the general public, now I know the business owners panic about bad reviews and good reviews. Sometimes I see good reviews and I think to myself, well, that was probably his grandma. That was probably your aunt. That was probably, so I'm more or less just looking for a general feel of things, right? So I don't want to have to buy something brand new every time it breaks just because it's easier to replace and you get the warranty. I don't want something new all the time. I don't want all this crazy stuff. I want to have the thing that I have. It's been functioning. It's fine. Can I just get it fixed? So I think sometimes you're taking a chance because you just want to prolong. You want to get a little bit more longevity out of the thing that you have. And I think it's also the frustration of why in a place where we have all this technology and all these new things that we could do, we still sort of hold each other off just enough to make sure we can come back or, get another sale, whether it's the manufacturer of the thing that you're buying or whatever it may be. It's no secret. I mean, there's even a commission. We were watching a documentary about light bulb manufacturers and how there's that famous light bulb in that firehouse that's been going for over 100 years, and they don't turn the light off because they don't want to take any chances in this historic. It's historic, even though it's a light bulb and okay, cool, great. But this light bulb has been on for 100 years. So all the light bulb manufacturers got together and said, "Hey, listen, we can't be doing this. We're not gonna have any money here soon. We're not gonna have a business. We got to make sure that we cut this back a little bit. Let's just make it a little less powerful. Let's make it a little less long lasting." And I think we can find that as evidence in almost everything that we have, everything that we buy. Updates all the time. Your iPhone has to be changed every couple years because it goes out of order. And I think people are just frustrated with that and trying to find a way to just make the things that we have last. We want them to last longer. Not because I'm a cheapskate or something. I think it's just, as an artist, as a musician, I can't give you a lesser product to come back for more. I have to give you the best thing that I could possibly muster up, and you're only going to pay $1 for it, maybe. You're going to maybe stream it for free instead. So I think it's just this kind of push and pull of where we are as far as a culture, as far as a community. So I know that it's kind of a long stretch from just, why do you think about this repair? But I think these are the things that people go through, the frustrations that we think about when something goes wrong. I feel like it keeps coming back to those just general things. So I don't think it's so cut and dry as, well, just buy the new one. It's easier. Well, it's not actually that easy. It's actually very frustrating.
We're going to go to a break, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where you offended me. You offended me here, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat. And you know what that is?
Yes.
I'll tell you after the break.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I'm your host, Steve Suarez, and back with me is Tom Maslowski for now. And
I'll take it as it comes, man.
And before the break, I was going to tell Tom how he offended me. Where he offended me is I want to know who the peanut gallery was. Are you including me in a peanut gallery?
No.
Okay, good. That's what offended me. Okay, since I'm not there, okay, I'm good. But you were talking about how things are not lasting, and you're absolutely correct. Before, things were made to last. You used to be able to get products repaired. Now they don't do that. And I mean, again, it is a throwaway society. Dishwashers, throw away. I mean, they're just made to be tossed. I mean, that's just the way it is. And honestly, even if you go into some of the big box stores, a lot of the products that they sell, they're designed, even though they give you a warranty on it, they're designed to be throwaway. Think about it this way. Say you went there and you bought a pump, so to speak. They'll take it back. They'll take it back for you. Great. No big deal. But what happens is you take it back. When you go to take that back, you're going to yell at the young lady that's behind the counter. You're going to express that gentleman there. You're going to express your feelings about why this going. You're upset about it, and then she's going to say, yeah, because she works there, and you're going to take it out on her. She didn't sell you the pump. She didn't make the pump. So then, while you're doing that, you're going to go, man. All right, I got this pump here. Now I got to get a broom. I got to get some other stuff. I got to get a mop. I got to get some garbage bags to clean up the mess where, the pump failed. So what did they do? They got you right back in the store.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying.
They got you right back in the store. So now you bought everything. So even though you're mad at, this whole situation, you still went back and bought from them. See, the thing is, with what we do on that aspect is it's not worrying about, as far as our end, like as far as how I do it, I'm not worried about getting a bad review. What I'm worried about is I'm looking at the cost in spending good money versus bad money. Mm-hmm. And good money is one that, okay, it may be a little bit more, but I can guarantee this will last. I know this will last for a minimum of X amount of years. If I do this, I can't guarantee this. And if that number rises to a certain point, it's to the point where it's not cost effective to do that. It's bad money at that point.
Sure.
That's kind of where I'm getting on it, because as a consumer who may not know, they're calling on me as an expert to guide me. And I want to guide them in the right direction where they're going to spend the best money and it's going to give them the best bang for the buck.
Sure.
And things should last. I mean, you should be able to get it. But with water heaters, there's some variables. And I'll give you an example. And then we're going to go on to your to all the foodstuffs that we like to talk about and all the Joliet stuff, because that's what you like to talk about. I have a customer that is in New Lenox. House is about 11 years old. They're on their 4th water heater. They're on a well. They spent a lot of money for this filtration system, this water softener, water treatment system, whatever. Spent a lot of money on it, on their 4th water heater. And it shouldn't have failed. It's not the water heater. I mean, 1 water heater, I'll give you. Maybe 2, but the common denominator is it accepts water. You see what I mean? So it's like you have other determining factors where if that same water heater, which that's why I say it isn't the manufacturer of the water heater, because we'll install it in, say, a Joliet, we'll install it in, say, Chicago, or whatever the case may be, and you'll get 10 years out of it.
But
You'll
the
get
manufacturer
15.
did make it in a way where, okay, so maybe there's other materials that water heaters, for example, since we're talking about that, maybe there's other materials that could be used to make that water heater in that area so that it wouldn't fail that way, but those are more expensive or we can't get that. So the point I was trying to make was that we were not really utilizing all the technology and all the knowledge that we have to better ourselves as a whole planet. I feel like we use that information and technology as like, well, this is my information. You don't get the good stuff. I get the good stuff.
Oh, the technology is there.
Yeah.
To avoid that. It's a tankless water heater.
So my point is that, this is not something that's always easily available for everybody.
Right.
Not everyone has the situation where they could, maneuver through those things easily.
Right.
And it is set in a way to where it's it's not something that everybody can have. It's something that you have, and this is that whole like conversation of, where do we go as a human race, and what are we actually doing? Why are we a throwaway culture? I think that's terrible. I think that's awful. That's what we are. I think there's a lot of things that we could do better, and it's a really big question. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of people doing different things and have different opinions and have different ways of life. And it's very hard to organize all those things. And I don't know that there's one cut and dry way. But what I do know is that I feel like everyone would agree that it's utterly frustrating that the technology we have, and to know that the quality of things have gone down. So you're telling me in the ancient times, the things they built that lasted longer than anything that we have. So we've gotten worse, and that's okay. That's the way
Like the
I don't
aqueducts
understand.
that are still, that actually some of the sewers that are being still used.
Yeah, I just mean I think it's just
in ancient
kind of,
Rome. Yeah,
I just think it's goofy, and I think sometimes that frustration comes up every time something breaks, and that stress that you feel of where am I going to get the money to pay for this, or
Right.
geez Louise, am I doing this? Or sometimes you get hit with a couple at a time, right? Maybe your car broke down, your TV went out, and your heater went out all in 1 week. Man, that's crazy stuff. Like sometimes I think you got to take that chance of like, man, I hope I could just repair this. I really can't
Right.
replace this right now. You
Well,
know,
if we could repair it, that's actually going to do something. We've done stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, you
if
gotta
we
take
can, but it's just one of those things where, if, like I said, if the part is one of those things where it's expensive, then it's like, okay.
but what if you don't have the money to pay for the brand new water heater yet? Like, what
Right.
if you don't have it? What are you going to do?
Well, if the part's almost half of what a new water heater is, part and labor, then it's like, okay, you have to kind of look at that.
But then where does that money come from? So now I got to
Exactly.
buy a new water heater. Now what?
Yeah, it's a difficult decision.
If you have a finite thing that you can do, like, yeah, it might be better to buy the new one, but like, what if I can't? Like, what if I can't? Like, now what? So can we try to duct tape that thing? Because
Unfortunately, with a water heater, you can't duct tape. It's a it's a
symbolically,
safety
you know
feature,
what I'm
right,
saying?
But I get
Like,
you.
Well, it's like not everyone has a situation where they could just go, well, it'd be better off if I buy the new one.
Well, like you were saying, there was like about things being made differently than they were before.
Yeah.
Now you have in the code book, you have a lot of plastic piping being used. You have a lot of, for water, PVC, even PEX lines that are allowed in some parts of the state. Now, you would think, you think that the plumbing code would be more green now than it was, say 50 years ago. And it's not, even if you really look at it, because the main things that were in the code book are one of the main materials were clay pipe, which comes from clay, burn clay in the ground, iron, cast iron pipe, which is recycled. About good, they say estimated good 95% of steel and iron is recycled. And then you have copper. All of these are natural occurring minerals, or natural occurring in nature. They're recyclable, and even galvanized, even metal or iron is in your body. So they did use lead water lines. That's another one that they, but you look at those products there, those are more, and they're still, those are green products. They could be recycled. The clay piping, even though, it has durability. I've seen sewers that are clay sewers that are lasting, they're over 100 years old.
Sure.
I think they had a 50-year life expectancy. Cast iron, depending on the application, I've seen it last a long time as well.
Yeah.
So, you start looking at, different products and how they've evolved, and PVC is durable. It does last, but it has its limitations as well, and it doesn't break down.
Yeah.
So, there's some other things you can look at, but, we can get into the old, aspect and just continue on. But let's talk about what you wanted. We're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk to what you wanted to talk about, and you got a little docket that you have there.
So the art movement in Joliet, it's a group of artists with various mediums, whether it's music, painting, sculpting, welding, photography, videography. They get together and they try to do things together. They try to create events. They did the old prison project, the burn district. They got together at the old Joliet prison and were able to, as they were helping volunteer clean the place up, because now it's open for tours. They have disc golf there. There's going to be concerts there. They were getting together to create pieces of art that actually went into the Joliet Area Historical Museum and is now in the Lockport Museum under surplus scrap. They started getting way serious with their presence, and they brought on Ivan Silverberg, who is an excellent videographer. He did little mini documentaries. The first one was about Sue Regis of Regis Glass Art, kind of the hub of where the art movement comes from. And this last video short he just put out is featuring Ellis Wright on saxophone, Aaron Blazer, Angelica Crystal. You see a bunch of different artists in there, and he's just doing these little shorts, just kind of documenting what we're really doing here in Joliet. What is actually happening, what it looks like in a very, it looks great. He did such a great job. It looks great. Has good sound too, as a matter of fact. It's not a home movie by any means. So you're going to want to watch out for the Art Movement Inc. They're going to be coming for you. They've got a lot of stuff that they're offering, a lot of classes at the Strange and Unusual Art Gallery as well. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about was
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
And I can't even speak today. Hello. On the radio, can't speak. The old prison, have you been there?
Yeah.
What kind of condition is it in?
Could you be more specific?
Well, the reason why I ask is one of our customers worked there. They worked at work at the prison, and they said that there was renovations done to the old prison before they closed it down. So I was just wondering.
I don't know about that.
I don't. That's why I was asking, because this is what I was told, and I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know, because it looked like it was from talking to you, it looked like it was in. They've had issues with it, and so I don't know if it was in disrepair or it was just maybe they fixed it and then something happened, and then
it's not like a functioning building.
No, not only that. What I'm saying is it really? Did the vandals really do a lot to it to really damage it?
Yeah. Well, and you think about too, like, for example, there was people picking all the weeds, cutting the grass. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of stuff like that because it's just been abandoned.
Okay.
There was the burn district, so there was a portion of, I'm assuming it was like office type area that someone broke in and burned it to the ground. so the ceiling collapsed. Everything.
Okay.
For whatever reason, they abandoned it. I'm not sure what happened, but there was people's sweaters still there, coffee cups. There was just things laying around.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean it's an old prison, but there's people that you can still go and volunteer now. They're trying to clean it up and make it a little bit more presentable, like safer to walk around. Because there's just a lot of safety hazards.
That's where Elwood picked up Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, there's it's a great.
I think it's great they're pulling it back. I mean that they're reusing it to
do something else.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly, because it's a piece of history. So
yeah, and I think it's kind of inspiring that they're trying to take something that was, obviously used in a negative way, right? People being in prison is not a happy place.
No.
Now they're going to be having concerts there. They have, like the disc golf thing is happening there. The bash at the Big House is going to be kind of a big deal. 12 hours, 11 to 11, August 7th.
Yeah, I saw that you posted that. That is really that's a really good idea.
And it was supposed to happen. There was supposed to be a few things happening there. There was supposed to be a brew fest there. There was going to be 250 breweries from around the country coming there. I know there's been some stuff there already. It's going to be a great time. And as a matter of fact, Tim Plaker is the guy who's organizing this show. There's all kinds of Joliet music. There's some old favorites from out of town that we've met over the years going to be there. And Tim is actually organizing something at the Bicentennial Theater, the Billy Liemacher Bicentennial Park in downtown Joliet. He's going to have some of these artists doing their own thing. He calls it Nashville Night. That is going to be coming up pretty soon here. Let me just try to find that.
Yeah, I was just looking up here that the director of the Joliet Area Historical Museum is working on it, because there's an article in the Tribune about that. That's pretty cool, about the prison. Yeah, about the bash at the Big House.
Yep, Ted Slowick was the author on that, and he's actually playing guitar in one of the bands that day as well. Tim Plaker All-Star Band. All the area musicians get together and we do cover songs. So Tim has a whole bunch of prison-themed songs picked out for all of us to play. And then this time around, too, many of the bands get to do their own music throughout the day. 2 stages going. It's going to be a good time. The Nashville Night is going to be at Billy Liemacher Bicentennial Park on August 5th at 6:30. It's going to be featuring some of the musicians you're going to see at the bash at the Big House as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, this burger that you were talking about that that you said had a pork belly?
That was in Wisconsin.
That was okay.
That was in Wisconsin, and I'm sorry, that was maybe the best burger I've ever had in my entire life.
That's funny.
It was crazy good. It was in a hotel. 1844 is the name of the restaurant. It's a place in Kenosha, and I got the burger just because they had a limited menu. I think it was like the lunchtime menu. We were there like early-ish, and so okay, I'll get the burger. Pork belly sounds good, and the way they made the pork belly and the burger was artistic. I swear on my life. You could eat the burger, you can feel all the textures, everything worked well together. There was no off flavors. It wasn't just like ground beef. There was something else going on in that burger. It was probably the tastiest, juiciest burger I've ever had in my life. But yeah, that was in Wisconsin. So if you're ever in Kenosha, try to find the 1844 hotel restaurant. It was amazing.
Now, what do we got here that you would say that you've been to that's probably can give it a run for its money?
I went to Metro Bar and Grill for the first time. I think it was on Wednesday. I don't know. They kind of blur together sometimes. I eat every day. I don't know if you know this about me or not, but
okay, we're going on a limb with that.
They have a great burger. I was there with my wife, and it was good food, and everything coming out looked amazing. So I'm definitely gonna be wanting to go back to the Metro Bar and Grill and check out.
Where are they located at?
They are on.
Come on, you got to have this, man. Okay. Every time Tom takes a little bit to have this information ready, we're going to play his favorite Journey song.
Do it. It's on 2019 Essington Road in Joliet.
Okay. What's your favorite Journey song?
Oh man,
there's so many of them.
To pick from.
You just you celebrate the whole catalog.
Yes, I have every album.
You have a choice to see Journey or Michael Bolton. Who you with?
Oh man, I don't know.
Or how about this? How
Could it
about
be a double bill?
Oh, hey, how about Michael Bolton, Gordon Lightfoot,
Well, Gordon Lightfoot.
and Neil Diamond
Oh, man. Man.
with special guest Barry Manilow.
That's the good stuff. I can't even handle how good that is.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you'd really.
I would be pumped.
Oh yeah. I mean, by the end of the show, I could see you just not having a voice.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, you can go up there and jam with them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is more
Exciting.
exciting or upbeat than.
The Neil.
Or I was thinking the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I think everyone's done that. We can jump on that.
And if you don't know why I'm sorry if I'm laughing about this, is Tom is not the biggest fan of Journey,
To say the least.
To say the least. And I even brought up the Eagles, and that too he also shot down.
I can't do it, man. I cannot.
It's two I would say iconic bands. What would be your favorite 70s band?
70s?
Boston?
Oh, no.
Would you take Boston? I mean,
No.
are you a fan of? You don't like
No.
Boston either? Okay.
No. That's not even nowhere. No. So I mean, I guess there's the Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Beatles thing. I suppose
I think
there was
the Beatles
also
were done by 70.
there was also, I guess, like Miles Davis and things like that. I'm not really a 70s type
So
of
you're
guy.
you're going blues. Okay.
Well, I don't like really like I'm not like a Camaro rock guy, so no like REO Speedwagon.
Camaro owners, if you want to reach out to Tom Maslowski, you can reach him on his Facebook page or his website. Give him a shout.
And
So-
we can tell you, and I'll tell you all about, the typical commercial bands that I never really got into. No Boston, no Journey, no.
So who else you want to offend? Let's just keep going here,
You
man.
put me on the spot, man. I'm going to be myself every day of the week. So, we had a set plan, but I mean,
No.
I'll talk about my stuff.
I'm kidding. No. But what's cool is the thing is taste is one of those things. Like I said, you talk about different restaurants, and that's what it's all about. It's all about you variety. You liking different music. If everyone likes the same thing, then there's no variety. And I like all kinds of stuff. Like you'll get Motown, you'll get Journey, you'll get Eagles, you'll get rap from the 80s and stuff on all the different things that I've listened to. And my kids are the same way. So when you're listening to all different types of stuff, what's your favorite Ricky Martin song? You have no idea who Ricky Martin is?
I don't like Ricky Martin.
Oh,
I don't have a favorite Ricky Martin song.
All right, this man is not living in La Vida Loca.
Are you a Ricky Martin fan yourself?
I like everybody. Okay. He was with Menudo, right?
Heck yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you knew, because if you didn't know anything about Menudo, that would be it for you.
It's true.
Okay, that's good. Okay. You see, this went from a burger to plumbing.
The Menudo, which is also food.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
What is Menudo?
It's great.
Now, what's in it?
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I have no idea about
Folks, please text us at.
it. There we go. It's 708-964-5500 if you know what exactly is in Menudo. I was talking about the band and from the 80s, because I'm trying to pick Tom's brain about some different music.
Okay, so I love polka.
Okay.
It's a recent discovery how much I love polka. I'm definitely a fan of Miles Davis and John Coltrane and Wayne Shorter, like jazz type stuff like that. I also have lots of Black Sabbath. I do like the Beastie Boys. I like Bjork, Jeff Buckley, old Metallica, Meshuggah.
Sinead O'Connor.
No, Medeski Martin and Wood.
Wow. Okay, you just shut it down.
Yeah, no.
Nothing compares to you.
Nope. Nope, can't do it.
No?
No, I mean, I'm not
Apple?
saying that they're bad. I like Fiona Apple.
Okay,
I do
all
like
right.
Fiona
I'm hitting on something here. That's great,
Yeah.
What about Edie Brickell?
No.
No, wow. Okay, not aware of too many things. All right, good. That's all right, brother. Okay, we're just really hitting on. You're just like, wow. You're okay.
I'm not really a pop guy, I
You're a
like a little
Backroads
more
guy.
of the kind of deeper cut type things,
So you were the B side. You were more of a B side type of guy.
Sometimes, I guess. Yeah.
So whatever they played on the radio, I want to see what else you got.
Yeah. Sometimes, Blind Melon is a perfect example of that. everyone knows No Rain, and I feel like that was their least, their lesser of all their songs.
Lead singer Shannon Hoon.
Yeah. But I'm a big Blind Melon fan, actually. That's
He sang on Guns N' Roses tracks.
Yep. One track, Don't Cry.
I thought it was November Rain.
Was
it November? Or is it
Don't Cry? Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually, I think he was actually in the video, too.
Yep.
I think they're on the top of the building there.
Yep, he's got his big beard and his flannel on.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. He's an Indiana native. They have a thing, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have a thing every year on his birthday where they would go to his gravesite and they would all get together and talk about him, and friends would be there. Family members would show up, actually. And they would.
It's a sad story that he passed away,
Yep, too young.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, Blind Melon, and what's the other one? Is her name Lisa Loeb? She does the commercials for I think it's Geico or something now.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, she does that. I mean, I don't know. She looks the same as she did, I mean, 1995 or whatever she was when she was out.
I think she was like 18 when she got famous, so it helps out too. I don't know. Kid.
Another interesting tidbit before we end the show. Did you see it was the Geico commercial where they were talking about they have rats in the house, and they had the band Rat playing.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of funny, but the Rat got an enormous amount of hits to their song because of that. And you would think, they're feuding, but you would think they would have gotten, really excited and actually like maybe brought people together to maybe capitalize on it. No, they're still fighting.
That's how it goes in bands sometimes.
They're still fighting on it. The force that brought you together, that made you creative, is the force that ultimately tears you apart.
Seems to be that way.
Yeah. Well, that creativity, everyone, it's just, they're unique, and that's why we love them. So, and again, if you want to reach out to us, you can send us a text at area code 708-964-5500. And if you want to roast Tom for not liking Journey, the Eagles, or any other Boston or any other
no Camaro rock.
Oh, dude, my daughter's got a Camaro.
I'm not saying that I think they're bad musicians. I just don't want to listen to it.
You just basically you just insulted half the population with Camaros. I like Camaros, so like I said,
no, Camaro rock.
All right, brother. Tom, thank you for being here. And if you want to reach us, obviously you could text us at, like I said, at area code 708-964-5500. Check us out on the Prepare to Repair show on Facebook. And you can get a hold of Tom at
What's Going Down at Downtown J-Town is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find my website, zestysoul.com, ZESTYSOL.com, and you can find all my music projects, information about lessons, the local music bonanza. It's all there for your enjoyment.
Fantastic, Tom. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Hopefully you learned a little bit about your home, community, some good eats, and some good fun with my good buddy Tom here. And till next week, thank you for listening. See you next week.